we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First item on the agenda is approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. That was August 4th. And I have a couple of corrections, Michelle. We didn't get the name of the timeless tattoo applicant on the list of attendees.
That's Kyle.
And in the very last page, under the motions, there are 3 bullet points. The third bullet point, it says siding and lighting. That was supposed to be signage and lighting. Is there any other comments, corrections, discussion?
None that I have.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes as corrected. All in favor, or second? Right?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye, thanks. Okay, very good. Old business, Bronze Foundry lighting for the project.
Okay.
Didn't expect to be so low, but I am. John O'Brien from Cuba Brewer Construction. So we were in front of the board in the last meeting, and there were some open issues regarding both site lighting and building mounted lighting. I think
Right.
the signage lighting was approved. So speaking first to the site lighting, there's a photometric plan and cut sheets for each of the site light fixtures that we're using. Generally, the lighting for parking areas is achieved by 20-foot mounted height, sharp cutoff fixtures that are dark sky compliant. And they're spaced so that they provide the appropriate amount of lighting and don't trespass onto the adjoining properties. There were 2 site lighting comments from the planning board engineer. One was that we have a connection to Curtis Ave that has a walking path. So we added 4 10-foot mounted fixtures that are a smaller version of the 20-foot high mounted fixtures so that they're compatible architecturally. There are 4 of them along the path, and again, they don't trespass lighting onto either of the Curtis Ave parcels that are on either side. The other one was, we had a building that had a parking area that was fairly close to a triangular piece at 370, which is the Prince property. And there was a very small trespass of light onto that property that Greg Scromo's review disclosed. We did modify that fixture location to eliminate any trespass onto that residential property.
Okay, and you're still, you haven't got planning board approval,
No.
right? That is still before them.
Yep.
Because they really will be the ones that will review the photometrics and the light spread and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think, we have a review letter from Greg Scromo. We've got responsive, we've adjusted the photometrics, so I think.
All right, great, great. We're more or less just looking at the aesthetics of the fixtures.
John, do you need anything from me? Sorry.
I just went through site lighting, so.
I
And
went and
then,
opened up the meeting a couple minutes early on you.
Yeah, no worries.
I think Bruce King wanted the overall site lighting fixtures also.
Yes.
Would it be helpful if I projected the package onto there, or?
Sure, yep.
So the second piece of the lighting packages was the architectural lighting that is building mounted. And Andrew Schuster from Ashland Wolf Draw is going to project those. Essentially, every apartment has a porch that's inset into the building, and there's a sconce light that's mounted at that on the wall of each of those porches, so that's E1.
Okay.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know where E2 is. E3 is just a commercial can downlight that's in the covered entry, main entry of each building. So it's just a circular downlight. There's a backlit identification sign for each one of the buildings that will be building mounted. There are coach lights between the garage doors to add some architectural enhancement to those garages. And then there are lights mounted on the garages that provide circulation lighting in the parking lot where those garages are.
Is that the W2? Wall floodlight, it's called?
Yeah, W2 car garages.
And the coach lights are the E1?
Coach lights are E1s.
Right.
Fixture, I don't.
That is entry fixtures, entry illumination of the stairwell, the emergency stairs. So the stairwell doors.
So that's E2. Code requires you light those stairwell. The balance of the architectural fixtures are at the clubhouse.
Right.
They're wall mounted on the clubhouse. Column or wall mounted.
Yep. So the ones that you have there with the glass, those are on the building at the corners. So let's see. Overzealous computer security. That's E1. So that's at the corners of the clubhouse to give it some decorative illumination and kind of enhance the architecture at night. And then similarly, the E2 is at the entry columns. It's an up and down light to illuminate the entry columns and give a little bit of architectural texture at night.
So this is going on the apartments, correct?
That's going on the apartments next to the
Okay, and where is the each, I don't know, I'm looking at tons of diagrams here, which one are we talking about? This one we've decided is gonna go right up.
Goes at
Okay.
the wall on the building.
Okay, great.
E2 would go at that stairwell exits.
Okay, so that's more about safety.
Yeah.
Okay, where is E2 in this package?
There's E2.
Oh, okay. That's a lot smaller.
It's just an over door.
Yeah, okay. But more of a safety feature. Okay,
I think code requires it.
It does.
I would assume, yeah,
There's some foot candle. It's fairly thin, but there is a requirement.
yeah. And then you said lighting, specific lighting on the garages,
So
and they
there's-
are,
So there is a decorative one.
Oh, okay.
Every other door or so,
okay,
just to give it a little bit more character. And then there's a illumination light that's for illuminating the parking area.
okay. Is this like a soft, the colors, the soft or the white light, or that's up to the discretion?
These generally have selectable color temperatures.
Okay,
I like using 2500K or 3000K at night, which is a warm, kind of orangey glow. I find that it's a little bit,
easier on the eyes.
yeah, it's a little easier on the
Yeah.
body and everything.
Yeah.
All of these are 3000K, which are warmer.
Okay, so you have all of the ambiance and it's not glaring in the face.
Right.
Okay. Okay.
Jim? No. I'm going to make a motion to approve the lighting as submitted, subject to planning board approval of the photometrics.
I'll second it.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Thank you
Very
very
good,
much.
gentlemen.
Thank
Appreciate you
you.
coming back with us. All right, new business. We have Napa Auto Parts. Yeah,
Greg Mitchell with Allied Sign Company.
hi, Greg.
How's it going? So we were contracted by Lumitech, a sign company out of Louisiana. They would like Napa to have some new signage. They proposed a non-illuminated flush-mounted logo on the front. So they think that the cars don't have enough time to have visibility on the front. That would be gooseneck, externally illuminated. And then they'd also like a pan sign with some raised lettering for each side. The letters come off an aluminum pan, and then they would also be illuminated by gooseneck lighting.
But no internal illumination, just
No,
gooseneck.
nope, everything's not illuminated. Well, externally illuminated, I'm sorry. So Napa usually uses, they call it a vacuum formed base. If you can think of a mold, it's kind of molded and it's got a little 3D to it.
Sure. Now, is that true of the large sign? Is that going to be the same face of the kind of vacuum formed?
Yes, for what they're showing, you know, you have your flat aluminum pan. They're usually 1 to 2 inches for thickness, and then the letters are mounted on there. So usually their Napa logo is definitely, let's say 3D
Raised.
Yeah, raised, and then your letters would probably be cut out of like a 1/2 inch PVC or something. They didn't really show a great side view of that, but we just did one in Mexico, New York. That was plate letters.
So this is standard for Napa,
Yes, yep, they all have vacuum formed faces.
same size?
Size vary by location.
Well, because we have a sign code, and I don't, does it fall within our village?
They have 50-foot square
Okay.
or linear footage. And I don't know if they are over that code. It's been a while since I permitted here in the village.
Well, we can review it based on, you know, you have to get the permitting through the codes office, and
Right.
they'll evaluate that for you.
Okay.
Make sure that's within the square footage. Well, I'm all in favor of the type of lighting. You know, the face, guidelines kind of lean toward more of a painted type of finish. You know, on sign foam core, or, you know, it could be wood, but that's subject to deterioration, so sign foam core is more typical. You know, so it's not, because that type of sign typically is internally illuminated, I'm sure.
It can be,
Yeah.
yep. There's a few ways they could do it. They could route the face, or they could put channel letters on there a lot of times.
I'm looking at the graphic on the second page here, third page.
So they're saying the smaller logo for the front, that's only 2 inches deep total. It looks like on the larger signs, they're 4 inches. That would be just the Napa logo, the rest would probably be like a 1/2 inch PVC.
So you got these 3 pictures right here, is that
That's what's existing.
existing?
Yeah.
Okay, and then,
So I believe that's like a card, some kind of a card over sign. Problem with the card signs is they make them at a high density foam now.
Right.
There's all kinds of special paint for it, and then it doesn't keep up to the weather around here.
so I see you have an option A or option B, right?
Yeah, their drawings have been a little off lately. They sent me like 2 or 3 different things.
So this is the front, and
That would be
it's
the
not
front.
gonna be this one, it's gonna be this
No,
one?
it'll be this one. That's existing. Says
Oh,
existing
okay, all right,
signage.
yeah. Glasses aren't strong.
And then you have
Okay.
one on each side here.
Okay.
There's existing again. Would have brought you a pan face in, but they make us destroy them. Yeah, if we take them down or anything like that.
And there's kind of,
Oh, I didn't see that. Okay.
So this is what they make the vacuum pump cases out of, the yellow.
So this is the Napa and the parts words here.
Yes, yep.
And
And
this
then we
is,
put some white vinyl in there, because they had some white vinyl on the faces.
yeah,
This would be like your aluminum backer.
and the vinyl would be the word auto. It's applied in vinyl, is it?
It can be, they said they had vinyl on the faces for the front logo. So they either put that on the plastic on the outside, or they paint it from the inside. There's a few different methods of doing it. The auto parts on the side elevation signs, those would come off the pin about that much. They'd probably be made in like a 1/2 inch centra. It's routed out of the sheet, and then they're adhered on with glue or pin mounted.
That's the word parts.
Yeah. Auto and
Auto
parts.
and parts, yeah. Concern I have is about setting precedent. You know, we really don't have many signs, or any that I'm aware of in the village, with the metal facing like that. And, I mean, John, you're in the sign business, I mean, I would assume the sign could be built not in metal and not the, you know, I'm just picturing really glossy face on it.
Yeah, I don't know. They could do this all at like a flat stock, like a 1/2 inch or 1/4 inch, most time 1/2 inch, but you would still have it'd be rather lettered, it'd be placed on the. I don't know, besides a carved sign, for non-illuminated, I don't know what they would do. Or a flat graphic, which would look cheap and, wouldn't have a great glare coming down off the goosenecks. You could probably use matte or, flat paints.
Like for the metal backing?
Yeah. I would assume as long as they can keep that blue, the Napa blue, I'm sure they wouldn't have a problem doing it matte. Or like a flat color.
What is that sample? Is that a gloss?
It's glossy.
So the blue metal, that's
Yeah.
that's from an actual old Napa sign that I found in the retainer part on the face.
I mean, the objective for our board is to try to get something that's like 1900s, you know, in terms of color palette and signage, and then a gooseneck lid, which is a little more modern, but I'm just feeling like this has a real modern look to it.
Yeah, at first they wanted internally illuminated, which
Yeah.
I told them no, that's not gonna
That's not
happen.
gonna happen. No.
And then they must got on Google Earth because they looked at is it the Gina and Joe's?
Yeah, we've been pushing everybody to goosenecks, and it looks good.
Yeah, I went to school in Casanova, so Casanova made this, so I get the look, I like it
Yeah.
also. I honestly don't think the raised, like in my personal opinion, I don't think the raised off the backer would, I think that would still fit what you guys are looking for. I can try to find some examples that we've done in the past. Everybody asks for examples, but I have like 20,000 photos to go through, but I think it would still fit your agenda that you're looking for. It's a very toned down look and it does look sharp. With the cutout letters mounted to a backer.
I'd be more inclined to go that route, if that's possible.
Okay. That's exactly what they're proposing, the cutout letters on the backer. Is that what you were saying?
Well,
Like a,
You have,
using this plastic material, that's what I'm
that's
not
gloss.
well, it's form.
Yeah.
So it's, if you can think of your name in bubbles,
Yeah,
that's
sure.
kind of how it's done. But they also could do that just as they do the letters. They could just put a printed graphic on it and use like a matte laminate, clear laminate. That would probably tone it down a little bit also.
Instead of that.
Instead of the vacuum form case. So you would have your backer and then you'd have 1/2 inch thick, raised logo and letters mounted to that.
And what would the letters be made out of?
There's a hard plastic called Centra, it's a PVC. They could use aluminum. There's different materials.
The plastic sounds better.
It is, it's less expensive. We don't construct the
Like
sign.
you're saying like a PVC material?
Yeah.
As opposed to the vacuum formed plastic?
Correct, it'll just be
That's what I'm
flat.
saying, I would
Okay.
lean that way.
All right. We can definitely run it by him. I don't see it being an issue. It would just be a flat graphic on the 1/2 inch Centra, like the letters all in one plane.
What kind of schedule you want? I mean, I don't wanna, push it back a whole month here.
I have tons of customers that want their stuff done yesterday,
Yes,
so
I always,
it is what it is. So I can always tell them I have to come back, or could have them do new drawings, bring in some different materials for you.
I personally, that's what I'd like to see. I know we'll vote on this, but, I just know that this is gonna look almost like an internally illuminated sign, even though it's not.
It looks a little different than a regular cabinet, is what you're saying?
Yes.
Like where the whole face lights up?
Yes.
It looks totally different.
Yeah.
I could get some examples and stuff for you, and then
It's just that shiny plastic finish that
yeah.
I'm not crazy about.
Where's the closest one that have this particular? You said you did one.
Yeah, we did one in Mexico. They had plate letters on the side, but they had everything else illuminated, so that wouldn't be a good example.
Okay.
He did one, Montour Falls, I believe. That's really, I'd have to bring some pictures in from you.
Yeah.
That would be good.
Yeah, to get the depth and the, you know, how much depth there is and what kind of glare it's got.
Yeah, I'll just tell him to ship me some samples.
Yeah,
and
we get some
ideas.
samples too, I think, yeah.
Okay.
And are you on a timeline? I mean, it's fall.
They are probably, but,
Is this a year-round job for you?
Napa's one of our customers from
Understood,
this
but
other
if it
company.
starts snowing, can you still?
Oh, yeah, we worked all throughout the winter,
Okay.
so.
I know it's 80 today, but
I could just tell them to send a mock-up of a smaller version of the sign if you want.
Yeah.
Tell them to use matte finish.
Well, I'd like to make a motion that we table this application and have you come back with a resubmission.
When is the next date? For...
It's the first Monday of the month.
Okay. 21.
Yeah.
November 3rd.
It's a month.
And you want the same for the small front signage, right? You want something flat?
Yeah. It doesn't have to be flat. I'm all for three-dimensional type of lettering.
Okay.
I just don't like the bright finish, you know, that you get from that. It just looks plastic. It looks very,
Yeah.
very,
Thank you.
I don't want to use the word commercial because it is commercial, but I'd like to have something that has a little more historic look to it.
Okay.
And then, you know, it's not going to be quite as glossy.
Yeah. Okay, I will contact him tomorrow and have him get some stuff shipped in to me.
All right,
I
John.
appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did someone second that motion?
Yeah, so in a
To
second. motion.
table it, I'll second it.
Okay, all in favor of tabling it?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
And it just concerned me. That's setting a precedent for the village that we don't want to set.
I understand that, but seems like that would be their trademark, the Napa logo.
Well, the colors are, you know, and everything else, they can still produce that, I think.
But in a more matted form
Yes,
is what you're,
yes,
that's the only
yes,
thing,
yes.
because that yellow is yellow.
Yes, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see what he comes up with.
Okay. I think that's uncovered for tonight. We are adjourned.
All right, do you wanna, I'll second the motion for.
Oh, to adjourn now?
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
All in favor of
Good.
adjourning?
Aye.
Aye.
It's like 7:30.